Hi everyone, we're Michelle and David and welcome to the ExplorOz channel.
Everyone, David again, the developer of the Traveller app. Let's have a look at treks today. We'll go through the treks in a relatively comprehensive way, but I'll leave the complex navigation to another tutorial when we're wanting to do multi-step navigation, but we will build some basic trek while we're in the tutorial. So treks. Treks are basically, in our definition, it's the line travelled, or the way you travel between places, and that's effectively how we build them. So you need to set up place-to-place navigation to create a trek. Within the system, you can see here I've got all the treks turned on. This is for the account that I'm currently using. So this is showing you all treks on the main map showing all personal and ExplorOz treks that are available in the system, because we've got all treks turned on. In the past, we used to allow you to select just your personal treks versus the ExplorOz treks. Now they're all in one simple place. We've obviously got filters here. We've showed you all the filters in other tutorials on the map controls and overlays. Have a look at that tutorial. But if we just quickly have a look at it and we select four-wheel drive and hit apply, you'll see that the map has quickly changed to the treks that are suitable for four-wheel drive only. And so I'll just clear that out, so we'll go back to them all. Just what you can see here jumping around on this little cursor and me being down here. I'm actually here. My simulator, which is down here, you don't have this in your app. Yet again, I'll just explain that. It's the simulator's putting me down here and it just jumped back while I was doing that. So please ignore that. I'll just clear the snail trail so that it looks like I'm still in Hobart. Okay, so we've done the filtering. We've viewed them on the map. Obviously, you've got to install them. Have a look at the Data Manager tutorial to install the treks. It's fairly easy and will be done on your way in. Turning the treks on and off at this point will show them on the map, or turn them off, and that filter, as we've already seen. The other way, and obviously on the map here, we can click on any of our treks. It will show us the trek line with a red line under it, so we could zoom in and have a look at the details of that on the main map, or we could click anywhere on the trek itself to go into it, or use the folders, add it to a folder, or load it into the navigational system. The other way you can get to the treks is from the list, and the list is up here in data on the right hand side menu, and we go into treks. At the moment it says we've got 95 of them. We've got a filter turned on that I left on. This is actually my second take, and I had a filter turned on, and this is the same four-wheel drive filter, 101 of 190. I'll just quickly show you. That's the same filters that we had before. If I clear that out, the list should go up to the 190 results. You can obviously filter here. You can also search here. So if we were looking for Cape York, for instance, we could type in Cape, and there would be all the results that had the word Cape in it. And you could select from here. Like any of our lists, left swipe shows you more information, folder and navigate. And the other option that we have, and I'll just go back to the full list, so I'll just turn off I don't have a filter, I'll just turn off the search. The other options are sort by fields, and we've got comprehensive ways to sort. So you could give me the shortest trek in the system to the longest, give me the oldest to the newest, so it would tell you that was the first one we ever did and the second one we ever published, and we can get near, from me, near, far, or far, near, furthest away, by name, by state. Quite comprehensive. You can do a lot of different sort orders. The other area is the personal treks. Same search, same filters, and same sort orders, and same left swipe, except you'll notice, if you're paying attention, that the delete button and an edit button have appeared. You can edit personal treks. We don't allow any editing of the ExplorOz treks at this point. So the delete option, if you press it, you get prompted, are you sure? And no, I'm not. And edit, and the folder icon to add the trek to a folder. And this particular one is in a folder down here. You can see it by its black, and you'll see these ones aren't black. That means it's in a folder. If you confer, you can confirm which folder it's in by tapping on it, and it will show you that it's in the video folder. Okay, so the other one obviously is recents list. It'll tell me all the things that I've done recently, all the places and all the treks that I've opened recently since I've been using the app. You'll see these ones down here with the green circle on it. That's the private notes interface. We had a look at that in the folders tutorial, and we'll be having a look at that in the notes tutorial. But you can add private notes, and the Cape York Trek has a private note. Anyway, let's have a look at the Cape York Trek. So I've just tapped on that from that list, and it's taking us straight into the Cape York Trek. We've obviously got the photos. These are downloaded and stored offline for the next time you open this trek. If you're not in service, disconnected from the internet, those photos will still show up so that you can have a look, and they're all clickable and they're all swipeable so that you can swipe through them and have a look at the photos. Now these photos, some people get confused. These photos are based on the places that are within the trek. If we turn on the places that are within the trek right here, you'll see all the place markers have now shown up on our left hand side mini-map. These photos have come from these places that have photos, and it's based on an algorithm to give you the most relevant photos for the trek. So if you create a private trek that uses ExplorOz places that have photos, your personal trek may get photos or will get photos loaded into it. That's the only way photos are added to trek. There's no upload photos into a trek. Okay, so basic information within the trek. We've got the start point. I'll just turn that off so that you can just go back to the line. You can turn that on and off at any stage to see those places. You can zoom in and zoom out on the mini-map and analyze it however you wish. Start point, end point, difficulty rating. This is telling me the distance and directions from where I am right now. Suitable for, this is a four-wheel drive one. The length is 839.7. The average speed, the travel time, and the minimum days, which is the minimum days has been put in by the team as a best amount of time to allocate to go to this area. So we've got descriptions, preparation, permits, environment, and best time to visit. And the little calendar here is fairly self-explanatory. Best times are green, not so great times are orange, and you shouldn't go when it is red. That could either be heat or rain or whatever the local conditions would be that would make it too difficult to travel. Okay, so our other tabs that we've got available in here, we've got what to see. What you might have noticed is that on the mini-map it just changed the icons to be the ones that are in the what's to see list. Same as every other part of the system, left swipe will give you more information or more controls for each one of these places, and these are places. And if you need to understand, have a look at how the places work, have a look at the places tutorial. But again, these places have photos, and this one has a comment. If I just tap that whilst I'm in the trek, the mini-map will show me some information like the photos and some information about that location that I can read and do a bit more research without having to go into the I information panel to view the full page. Next along as we've got facilities, so it's going to show us the where to stays and the service and supplies on the trek. Okay, so again, same thing. If we tap on one of these, brings in our photos, brings in our text. The other bit that we also provide in here is the phone, email, and web addresses, and these links are all active. If you click on that on your device, it'll boot up your phone. If your device has a phone, you can make the call straight away. If you're on a PC, it might boot up Skype or another phone service system if you have them installed on your device. Email will bring up your email system, and the web will take you out to a browser so that you can do some more research all while still being on the mini map and the trek note itself. You don't have to leave the trek note to get that level of information out. Again, photos and comments, swipe left. Directions tab. This one is giving you the turn-by-turn or the driving directions as computed and calculated in our system for this trek, and you can click on any one of these and it will actually show you the segment on the mini-map so that you can fully analyse where you're going, where you'll be, and the line itself that you need to travel when you get there. Okay, so the next tab has the comment system. I said before I had a private note. Have a good time. It's just a private note. You can put in anything you like into private notes. Suggest you have a look at the notes tutorial and you'll be able to see how the notes works. Reviews and comments, you can add reviews and comments to this trek anytime you like. It's good to let other people know what's going on and your experiences and any things that happened along the way. Within the comments and reviews system, it has the ability to be publicly accessed, and then people can comment and you can get a to and fro about bits and pieces from within that trek. So the comments have the ability to be sent back and forth. The reviews, the rating ones are stored only for the rating purpose of the rating. So there's no interaction with those. Okay, so we've seen the tabs. We've seen this little button. It can turn on and off those places. Obviously, as we move through these other ones, that little places icon turned on because it was showing us the relevant ones for the journey that we're going to do. If we just go back to the information panel, you'll see that we've also got this share button. Clicking on this will allow you to share it with whatever sharing tools you have on your device. That could be Messenger, SMS, email, anything that you may have on your system, that you can share this information with somebody else. They do not have to have the app. The sharing links work out so that if you don't have the app, you'll go to the website. If you do have the app, you'll have the option of opening it within the app. The person that's receiving the share link, of course. Again, we also had our folders here. I'll just add this to the video folder so that we can have a look at that when we get to the video folder. And we've got the load into navigation mode option just there. I won't do that just at the minute, so I'll just go back to our list. And I did that from the recent. If I open up a personal, and I'll just open up this, I'll tap on this one. I filled in all these additional fields just so that you can see what they do. If we hit edit here, you'll see description prep. It says silly things, but it's basically showing you that you can add all these additional fields. You'll see name and descriptions, what you can see, and then the suitability for, and I've selected walk run. We can change that to, you know, four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. Actually, this one's two-wheel drive. The minimum driving should be selected. You wouldn't do four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, and two-wheel drive. If it's two-wheel drive, you would just select two-wheel drive. If it's suitable for a van, you'd put that in. These are yours. It's personal information with your personal treks anyway. It just helps you to be able to isolate them and find them using the filters later on. The additional data here is where the extra information comes from. So we can put in minimum days and set the difficulty score, minimum days, fuel notes, time to visit attractions. These are all the things that need to go in if there's any intention or plan for us to move this from a personal trek into an ExplorOz trek. Now those updates and changes are done by the team here. If you've got a personal trek that you think you've done all the bits, filled in all these panels and created a fairly good personal trek, we're more than happy to evaluate that and have a look at for inclusion in the ExplorOz treks. So let us know, use the help desk and let us know that you've done that, and we'll have a look and guide you through the rest of the process of making it an ExplorOz trek. Okay, so there are all the fields that you can fill in, and obviously we can hit save when you've made changes. I've made a change to that. If I change that back down, you know, I must have made another change. Oh, I changed this. If I change it all back to the way it was, it will turn off that save button saying that there's no changes. There is. I don't need to save it. I'm just going to X out. But you can see the preparation panel, the permits, the environment history, the best time. All those things have now come up. The difficulty score, the suitability for walking has all appeared. In the what to see, because there was no places, I'll just turn on the places. There was no places in what to see, and there's also none in facilities for this particular trek because they were just a cliff, a lookout, a lighthouse, and a suburb, So there was no what to see and where to stay places on the trek. So those panels don't have anything. But because we added some text, they'll appear in here. Again, the directions is giving us the turn-by-turns that were calculated for this trek, and we can click on each of those and see it. We showed you all this a second ago. No need to see it again. So as I say, the difference with the personal is the edit and the delete. Okay. One other thing I haven't shown you in all the tutorials, and I'll just quickly show you. If I go into this particular trek and from within the trek I click on the map button, it will take us back, with the potential of taking us back into our past history of the treks that we've opened. So we had the Cape York trek open, we've had the video trek folder open twice, the video folder trek open twice. If we click on this, it would take us to that trek on the map. If we click on this, it'll take us to the video folder trek on the map. So there it is, showing us that on the map. So what was all that about? When you're in the list, if you go into a trek, and let's just go, I'll take the Wilbinga trek at this point, and I'll just hang up my phone. Sorry about that. Put phone on silent for next tutorial. If I click on this, I've just gone into Wilbinga. I don't have a history of treks that I've looked at. It should just take me straight to Wilbinga, and it does. So if you're wanting to look at a large trek on the map, click on the trek name, select it, go into it, and hit the map icon, and it'll take you to that trek on the full map screen. Okay, so we've done the edit, we've done all of those bits. What we want to just do is show you quickly how to create a trek. As I say, more complex trek creation will be done in a tutorial on the navigation system, because trek note creation is done from the navigation system. I'll just quickly run through folder from trek, folder to trek again, which I did in the folder tutorial, and then I'll just show you creating a one manually. So if I just go into the folders, and I'm not going to explain all of these, you'll need to have a look at the folders tutorial. You'll see these are the 3 places that we had in that video folder trek, the 3 particular places. I'll make this exact same trek again, and you can see that I added Cape York to that, and there it is showing you that there. I'll just remove that out now because I've shown it to you that it works, and we'll drop that off, and now we'll zoom back down to those 3 places, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the video folder trek. I'll just delete the video folder trek, tap and delete. So I've just deleted it. That deleted my comments and deleted everything about that trek. It's gone from the system, gone forever. But what we're going to do is going to show you a demonstration of taking these 3 places and making a trek. So this is the only route button that doesn't take you to the navigation engine. It's in the folders. It takes you to folder items to personal trek. As we showed you before, what's happened now is, oh, the trek line is still visible. I just need to jump out and jump back into the folder to drop out that trek line. Just a minor issue. I might try and fix that one. Okay, so we go back in, turn that folder to trek line back on, and you'll see that it's put these straight lines on the map according to this note. Route lines are visible, and there they are. As I showed you before, if we reorder the trek, if I tap and hold this, drag it down to here and drop it in there, you'll see that it's adjusted the lines, so it's going in a slightly different way now. And we can change it all over the place and make it do whatever we like. So you can set the order of your trek, of the places that are in there. Once you've got it the way you want, and that'll do, we do create trek. Comes up and asks us if we wish to override an existing one, or if we want to create a new one. So we'll just create this as trek, for want of a better one. Trek. And description. Again, we can set a suitability. This is a 2-wheel drive one because I'm going to convert it into driving, and we hit save. What you'll notice is that it creates straight line routing between each place in the folder. There's a new feature in version 7 that we'll just quickly touch on, is how to reset those segments so that they're driving. You'll see it's created the straight lines, and there's our trek. Great. We can click on that, go in, have a look at the detail on our mini-map. We could swipe it. We could go into it and have a look at the information on this panel. There's our description and the directions information with the straight line, distance and heading. Comments is empty because we don't have any. So if we want to load this into the navigation system very quickly, we press navigate or route plan, and it's loaded into Nav Planner. So what you'll see is that we've got the straight lines, the Redcliffe Point to Kippering. If I just tap on that, it's showing me that segment there. We did it in straight line, so I want to convert Red Point to Kippering to driving. Swipe left, route button, press it, and it will compute the driving information with choices in this case between those 2 places. At this stage I could change it and say online, let's make it walking. So I'll do a straight walking. Let's do the walking. And if we wanted to, I walk faster, or let's say I was going to make this into a run, I might change this to not 115 k's, but let's say 11.1 kilometers an hour, and it's recomputed. It'll take me 19 minutes to do this at 11 kilometers an hour. Okay, so we've done a walking segment there. And then we've now got the walking, and we've got this one. If we want to change Kippering to Rothwell to driving, pull this down to driving, swipe left and do driving, and it'll recompute that one. I'll just accept the default this time. You could change the default driving if you thought you were going to drive particularly anyway faster. It is computed based on map data and the usual algorithms for computing driving times, but you're welcome to change it if you know that you can do it differently. Okay, so now we've got our walking segment, our driving segment. We can basically save this over our trek that we did before, so that we've updated it now so that it has those particular types of the walking and the driving. So that's taking a folder to a trek. So that's the first way that we wanted to talk about creating a trek. There it is, it's done. If we jump back into our folder, we should see that it's in there, and it should have the lines that are not straight anymore. So it's done that right throughout the system. Again, if we also had a look and jump back into Treks Personal, our tests trek is there, and the lines and everything is all been updated as we expected. So the other way to make a trek is very similar to that, but it's going to use the navigation system. I just need to turn places on. I typically do this with places on the map. That's just the way that I work it. So we want to turn places on, and let's just go and pick some places. I have not, this is completely unrehearsed, so we'll go from Nudgee. We'll add that to the nav planner. So it's thrown that over here as the first destination. Now, one of the things that people always get confused about and contact us all the time, when you're doing a route plan in this mode, we want your first destination, not your home. The trek itself doesn't necessarily have to start from your home, because when you build a trek, and I'll just continue to build this, I'm just picking places and I'm going to add them at the end. Add at end, or replace the current nav, or you can insert it somewhere. I'll add a few first before I show you the insert. It was set to driving, so it's done a driving segment there. I can come in here and change that to walking. So the next one I want to be walking, I can say add to end, and it'll calculate that as walking. So I'll accept that. If I want to know that I want to do the next one on my bike, I can change it to cycling. And so let's go to this place down here on our bike from Northgate. We'll add that to the end, and we get a couple of choices. I'll take that for the first one. Okay, so we've created now 3 segments in our trek, and that's all great. Different types of plan. You change it, the mode up here. So why don't we start at your house? Well, when you want to get in your car or start walking or riding your bike or whatever you need, you may not be at that first point, at Nudgee in this case. I could be in Tasmania or at my house or anywhere. So your first point in a trek is always dynamic and is generated when you load the route plan or the trek into the navigation system. So you'd hit begin and it would compute your start location, which is your current position, to Nudgee. So that's an automatic addition. So you start your trek generation at the first place you want to go to. Or if you're wanting to try and do measurements, have a place that's near your house or your local suburb as a start point, and it'll all give you the information that you need to do. Okay, so there's a few more things that we can do, and this one also tricks a few people up periodically. I'm going to add Virginia here, and what I want to do is that I want to add that insert it. Now, we had it in cycling mode over here. As you can see, the cycling is still turned on, so it wants to do a cycling, and we want it to go, let's say we'll do it before Northgate. We want to insert that before Northgate. So what's it doing? It's calculating the place before the Northgate to go there, and then from here to Northgate afterwards. So it has to do 2 calculations. Some people get confused as to why it's done that, but it's because we inserted it in the middle of a plan and we had a mode of transport turned on. So it needed to do 2 recalculations to make that particular segment happen. It all works quite well, and it's all done now. Again, if you didn't want that one to be walking, you wanted that one to be driving, you could come in here and re-swipe and set it to driving. Accept the one that you like, and it's now converted. So we've created a trek. All we need to do now is save it, and it'll be available to us. Trek to trek, and it'll be available. We could add more details and information, and it'll be available for us on our system moving forward. Okay, so that's creating it from folder to trek and creating a trek piece by piece. Okay, so we showed you these creating shorter ones. What we'll just have to have a look at now is we'll load up a large trek into the routing system and just see how you would start a trek. Let's do the Canning. It's our longest one. So we'll just load that in. You can select the direction of travel if you're creating a plan, or you're just going to do the trek. I'm going to go from Wiluna to Halls Creek from the bottom to the top, and it'll load that into the system. And once it's inside the navigation planner, you can see each of the segments like we've seen before. You'll see the travel time for the one segment. So this is Wiluna to Well1, 7.2 k's, 8 minutes 44 seconds for a total of 7.2 k's, which is the total running distance and the total running time. So you'll see the total distances accumulating as you go further down the list. So that's the accumulated distance of the entire trek and the accumulated time to get to each one of those segments. Okay, so we started again. This is one of these treks we started at Wiluna because it doesn't start at our house. We don't start the actual trek at our house or at our position where we currently are. We use the start location, current position to next destination function with the calculator here. So if we were going to drive from where we currently are to Wiluna to start our trek, or of course we could build a trek that gets us from where we are to, from our nearest suburb to Wiluna. We're going to take the trek, so we just hit begin navigation here and it'll compute a direction of travel for us to take. We'll accept the default that it's chosen, and it's basically telling us how to get from where we currently are to Wiluna, and then we can do the segments. So you'll see that it's given current position, next destination. It's 1,030 kilometers to the start point, 10 hours and 36 minutes to get there. So that will have obviously incremented our total trek journey time, and you'll see that our totals have gone up appropriately by the total amount. We could add a trek at the end and go the Gibb River Road or something, and then it would accumulate that at the end as well. So you could have from your house to the Canning and then whack the Gibb River Road on at the end, and put that all into a plan. If we hit save at this point, it's only going to save the Canning section because it only saves from your first destination. It doesn't actually save your first, your initial routing to get to the start point. But that's basically, we're now in navigation mode, and so we're often doing our journey using the navigation planner. So have a look at the navigation tutorial for more information. Thanks for using ExplorOz Traveller, and look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial.